we're starting with the account offer today. Good morning. Wow, 3 coffee today. All right. 3 cup. 对，今天我们讲 counter offer. We'll start with the counter offer today. Counter offer. So you guys have any question about showing, selling, anything? No showing? Let me go ahead and print it. Let me go ahead and add the form and print it. Because I remember this deal doesn't have. Oh, wait. Let's go back. Oh, wait. Adding a form. A template. Adding. Oh, what's that? Fax. Adding doc. Adding form. Counter offer. Because I know this one, since I work on both sides, does not have a counter offer. So let me get a counter offer number 1. Seller counter number 1. Sellable multiple counter number 1. Let me go and give you the request for repair hazard. Do I have a seller responding? Seller property question, seller responding. Yes, okay. Let me give you all form. Print. Let me see what print. Counter offer, seller multiple counter. Let me move this bar. Okay, good. And request for repair. Seller possession. Seller responding by his request for repair. Okay. I'll click print. Is this one will work? The end user selected. Actually, let's see if I click this, including the no. Print, yeah. How many copies? 10. And one more. Okay. 12. Okay, let me go ahead and print 12 copy. Okay. Okay, thank you. Let's see here. 12 copy. Let me. Okay. Let's see here. How come this is? Oh, I'm sorry. Buyer's counter. So hold on, Gene. I have to delete one of a form. One of it's not correct. Not yet. I gotta remove one of them. Counter offer number 1, I need to remove that. 楼上你等一下，因为我刚刚有一个 form， 我有一个 form 要 delete 掉，我打错了，应该是 buyer's counter， 我要 delete 掉这个 form。This one is being replaced. Remove. Adding a form. Add a doc. Adding form. It should be looking at buyer's counter, not just counter offer. I don't know why the old form is still living inside our library, but sometimes they're confused. Buyer's counter number 1. Here we go. All right. Close it. And let's see if I want to print the form. This. Request for repair, so responding request for repair. Let me go and print those forms for now. And next time, we'll print it out more. What else though? Remind me if you guys, want the contingency upon selling, contingency on purchase. Yeah, this is this 5. Yeah. 12 copy. OK， 好，信我送过去了。楼上那台 copy machine， 453那台。All right. Let's starting on the seller's multiple counter first. Let me ask you, when you issue the seller multiple counter, what situation? What kind of situation you issue seller multiple counter? We receiving 2 or more. Legally, we cannot say somebody verbally say we're going to submit the offer, but you never receive it. But you are going to make the counter offer. What do? Single counter or multiple counter?
And 1 single counter.
We only receive 1, but somebody call you. I'm going to submit the offer, but you never receive it. But you are about to make the counter now. Single counter. Because you're going to have to wait until physically you receive the counter offer. Otherwise, when we go through, somebody challenge you, you're in trouble. Because physically, you only receive 1 counter offer. It doesn't matter somebody text you, email you, calling you because there's no evidence. Even somebody text you or email you, you have evidence. But physically, you did not receive the offer, the purchase agreement. It doesn't count. It doesn't count. Because somebody challenged you, you'll lose. That's what I heard from board. So it's not from me, all right? So you know. And certainly here, you can print, for the seller multiple counter number 1, usually that's what I did is like this. Well, wait. Sorry. They don't allow me to write the ink. So there will be no mistake. 1 is 1.
because I saw some other agent they did that. I said, hey, not a bad idea because one, okay, alphabetical. Usually you can put just one, you know, then usually we'll put on the English, spelled it out. And certainly the multiple counter offer, 99% is what? Purchase agreement. All right. Here we got 2 days. What's this date? The right-hand side date, current date, today. They say, okay, today. And this date, offer date. Because if you see that, this is a day. What's this? Dated. Past tense. Don't mess up. Okay. The dated, that one is a purchase agreement date. Somebody it's not you receiving the offer. You look at the purchase agreement at the buyer's, you know, the agent, they submit it in, and you look at the date on the top on the purchase agreement. That's a date. So you would know what's the date on that purchase agreement. It's not seller signing day. I mean, it's not buyer signing day. It's agent preparing date, you know, on the purchase agreement. Then the property, you know, put on the address and the buyer's name. I don't know why the buyer's name is gone, but I'll put it in. I don't know where's the second buyer's name gone. Funny. Okay, 没关系，先放那边，对，继续。Oh, funny. See, the second buyer's name is gone. The funny thing is here's a buyer and
There's an arrow on the right.
oh yeah, that's right. No wonder I put a okay, my mistake. Yeah. See, that's a little because usually when you issue it and for some reason it's not there, usually we write it in ourselves. Now they put the arrow. Yeah. Once in a while they update little thing, tiny thing. So that's what you did. And let me go below it up. So the term so the paragraph 1 is say the term and the condition of the above reference document are accepted subject to the following. A. Paragraph in the offer that require initial by all parties but are not initial by all parties are excluded from the final agreement unless specifically referenced for inclusion of paragraph 1C and this another counter offer. So this is not the final one. They say, okay, if you offer on in paragraph B, unless otherwise agreed in writing, down payment and loan amount will be adjusted in the same portion as in the original offer. So A is telling you once you put on a C, then if it's not agreed, we continue offer, for the next one. Buyer's counter, then sell a multiple counter, something like that. Continue. Once they agree on the, doesn't matter if down in the road, one of a counter offer is agreed. Both parties sign, then you start signing backward. Say if the buyer's counter number 1 is accepted. So you buyer's counter offer number 1, you seller buyer counter, seller accepted. done. Then buyer signing back on seller multiple counter. And seller also signing back on the original purchase agreement. Then you make a little check mark on the last page, subject to the counter offer. So you reminding the escrow has to be, continue. Even this one, I just, kind of let you know here. If you do have a counter offer, buyer's counter offer, you need to mark here, subject to the attached counter offer. So you're telling the escrow, you gotta have to go continue. Next one. Until the counter offer, doesn't matter seller or buyer, without this check mark, we know it's final. That's a final counter. Clear? Confused? Well, I know when you actually practice, you won't. But by the time, you listen to me right now, it's like sellers usually when you submit the purchase agreement, so it's always like purchase, so buyer's offer to seller. Then seller is not agree for whatever term and condition or pricing. Counter to buyer. So it's seller multiple counter or seller counter. Buyer is not agree, then buyer counter. That's a what? Seller counter number 1. Then when the buyer's counter still is number 1, not 2. Okay? Used to be we don't really have a seller counter offer or buyer counter offer. So we have to go by the sequence. 1, 2, 3. Sometimes we got confused. Who counter what? Because we don't know seller counter. We gotta have to see who is signing the paragraph number 3. Oh, seller or buyer. Because it can be different. Used to be our form is, I know, a little bit confusing. Doesn't separate it between counter offer or seller counter offer. All we got is a counter offer or multiple counter offer. Doesn't put buyer or seller. But back on a good old day, we have to go by the sequence. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now it's 1 to 1, 2 to 2. That is something different. Okay? That makes sense now. Yeah, corresponding. Yeah. That's why they, the CAR, they, probably some of agent, their mathematics not so good. They lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When you get 5, 6, you really got messed up, But I mean, usually when we do it like a seller counter number 1, buyer counter number 1, the last seller counter number 2, it's about the end. You don't do like buyer counter number 2, seller counter number 3, buyer counter number 3. Rewrite it. Rewrite a purchase. It's going to be a mess, I tell you. Wait a minute. What do we agree and what we start agree? You start confusing because this is what seller want. And buyer with a counter, it must be according to seller's term and condition. What they are not agree, they still counter. For example, seller want to counter the buyer say inspection contingency 10 days and shorten your all contingency for 14 days or your loan contingency becomes 17 days. And the buyer say, why not agree? We still want to keep the all contingency 17 days as a default and the loan contingency 21 days. Then seller come back. How about that? We keep all contingency at 17 days, including loan, inspection, whatever. It could happen. I know it's like, okay, that's pretty much still clear. You don't want to continue counter. I mean, later I say, what do we counter? What? So it really get confused. I know you got plenty of form. You got 5 seller counter and 5 buyer's counter. When it adds up, it's what? 10. Forget it. You don't use all the forms, all right? That's like 10 total counters. Forget it. When we go to the total 3 counter, that's about it. We don't want to continue. We call each other, during the agent. So what's the final? We just talk. Then before the seller counter number 3, we talk. What's the final? Either we can agree or we don't. Then seller, listing agent put it on. Then buyer sign. That's about it. Don't make anything more. Do you get the coffee downstairs or upstairs? Downstairs, yeah, strong. Feel like a tar. Yeah, it's bitter and sour. Paragraph C. Oh, by the way, B, actually, they will go by proportion, loan and down payment. If you put 20% down and seller says, I want more price. But on the purchase agreement, your down payment and your loan amount is based on what you offer the price. If the seller wants $10,000 more, so technically you have to finance 80% more. I mean, not 80%, $8,000 more on the finance loan amount and $2,000 more on the down payment. That's proportion. You only take, and escrow, they will adjust that once you issue, once they accept the offer. Escrow will adjust the percentage. C, be creative. Because it can happen anything. I don't really have a, people say, can you email me a sample or template? You got no sample or template for counter offer, all right? It can be anything. Such as, well, certainly, I already told you, contingency day, okay? Those are escrow days. Pricing, that's usually what we see in service provider. Who's going to be the escrow? Who's going to be the title insurance company? Blah, 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 And those are, and then sometimes we will even add it like a seller reserve all services. So that means seller choose services if what seller want. Something odd, it could be, say, seller want to stay in the house, or, COE +3, basically, they forgot the buyer counter, and seller want to stay like 3 days after close of escrow, or 5 days, or even 7 days, who knows, for free, technically. Then seller will put a seller multiple counter. Because whatever a benefit to seller, they will put it in. But if somebody say, seller, it has to be closed concurrently, those are, you don't put it here, because what you need to do, you need to get a separate addendum for contingency on purchase. Because what seller want to close concurrently, that means seller has another house need to purchase the replacement property. So you don't put in a counter here. You could, but one statement or one sentence wording is not enough, because the form on contingency on purchase, because that is going to be a contingency period. That would also, you know what, since I already talked about it, I'll just add it in. Because one thing I need you to really understand that is the contingency on purchase. That one of a section, a lot of people got confused. COP, I'll just type COP, that's faster. COP, okay. 刚好留最后一份 copy. The set, yeah. Then we still printing. Oh no, okay. What? Loading the form. I'll just print this form. Copy. Because probably 30 to 40% of the purchase, you'll see this. Most of the seller, they are replacing the property. They just don't have money to buy it first and sell it later. Okay? Sometimes you see, half of the rich people, they're already gone. Cash buyer, gone. They have to sell the property first. Then they buy another property. Otherwise, their down payment is not enough, though. Yeah. Which is really good for us. What? 2 transactions, right? Yeah, it is. And, yeah, that's right. You attach to it. Or you can say, because the counter offer do have a form to attach, if you really want to attach this form, for example. Or seller want to rent back. Those are, if you look at it, that's another form what I have. SIP, seller in possession. Two different form. I'll show you because this particular for rent back within 30 days, which form you should use? Seller in possession, more than 30 days. Seller, residential sales after residential lease after sale. I'll just okay. Seller in possession. Okay. I know, but I need to. Since I need to print it, so I'll go ahead and click print. Okay, then I'll print two forms. Seller in possession, and another thing is a residential lease after sale. Okay. This is another two form. You got two more plus the one I already printed, so total 3 more forms. Thanks. Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh, because a glitch on the counter, just what I did. Remember when I added? Hey, the first buyer is gone, only got second buyer, and the agent forgot to put it on. For some reason, there's a glitch, on the form. You gotta. So that's why you have to double check. Yeah. Uh-huh. It's basically that counter offer is incomplete because one of the buyers gone. You gotta have to tell one of the seller. You gotta tell the seller, say, I think you forgot to add it or something wrong with that. Can you reset the counter offer? Because the okay, please. The counter, yeah. Because here, let me guys, show you because that's what we just found out the glitch. When I open it up, the seller multiple counter, the first buyer is gone. They only leave the second buyer right here. It's because they leave the cursor on two separate ones. See here? I thought it only showing when I just opened this form, it only this second buyer. And here, see here, he got another. See the arrow right here. Used to be doesn't have that. See, that's why when it is I go back to look at a purchase list. Everything is still two, but to the counter offer. Here's a little glitch. When they're creating this feature, they did not automatically add it in. For some reason, the programmer, they make a glitch. That's how that happened. And if you don't double check, it miss it. They say, wait a minute, where's one of a seller or where's one of a buyer? Gone. Because seller's here, but the buyer's gone. But I mean, if you are the buyer, right? And only one seller, but suppose what, two seller? Okay. Then you ask the listing agent, add it in. If it's a buyer's, seller forgot to type one of a buyer, you just handwritten. It's okay. Because you're the buyer's agent, you handwritten one of a buyer and put on one of a buyer on the signature part. It's okay. Go ahead, sign it. But if a seller, you either have a listing agent, well, basically you need to have, but how about the signature? The seller signature, one signature or two signature? And then that's incomplete counter. Because it's two seller, you supposed to have two signature. Or unless they are having, okay, for example, titles has two. Okay, one, this is a situation happened to me because wife passed away. When if a wife pass away, then it's okay. But you need a death certificate. But on the title, if it's still showing two, you're still showing two seller. Not just, because they did not change the title. So that's why if someone pass away, for example, seller, someone pass away, before selling, what you can do is remove your husband or remove wife first before continue all the paperwork. Otherwise, all the paperwork is two seller and we have to explain and then you got to continue and signing more and more. Then why don't you just remove your spouse from the title send the death certificate to the county. Original copy cannot be accepted. They gotta send the original death certificate to the county. After they removed it, then we'll send the original back to you. But 50% they lost it. So if the spouse passed away, that's what I heard. You better get as many as copy of the original death certificate from either court or something. Okay, I know each copy need to cost some money. it's not free, all right. Those are the color original death certificate. Yeah. I know, but I mean, and if that's the case, they better show you the death certificate or something to tell you, because the wife. But another thing is that then the listing agent is say, well, if you think that will work, okay, or your escrow will work, okay, fine, we accept the way it is. The issue is if without the signature, without one seller's signature, sometimes if your buyer is the financing, lender will start questioning, where's one seller? They will know. Because seller will check on, lender, they will check on the title. And title say showing 2 sellers. And they will start questioning, where's the other seller? Right? Without signature, then you cannot continue. Because it's not the binding agreement. Binding agreement is all parties need to sign. And certainly, that's why they try to apply. All parties, and one party is dead. They cannot sign, so that's why they only need one seller. But you gotta prove it, all right? Yeah, escrow will taking care of that. Yeah, that's what escrow do. Yeah. Well, otherwise, what you pay the escrow for? Make them work. All right. All right. Same thing. Seller pay the title, or your buyer pay the lender's title insurance. If you have any doubt on the title, make them work. Find out. So, if the form what I just give it to you, anything here, the C is you go ahead write anything regarding with the purchase agreement, any other term and condition, you need to modify, alternate. You put it right here. Don't, I seen once the agent cross it out, the purchase agreement. You know what I did? Your purchase agreement, rewrite it. Otherwise, we cannot accept it. This is not a commercial property. You cannot remove or adding or modify anything on the original purchase agreement. This is residential. Because according to the CAR, the last paragraph I just read it to you, remember? You cannot alternate or you cannot or modify this particular purchase agreement. That's it, period. You want to modify anything using counter offer or addendum. Don't change anything wording. You're not attorney. You don't change anything on the wording for the form. This is a part you can be creative, paragraph C. You do whatever you want. Even buyer's counter, I put it before. If the seller phone signal is not good enough, my buyer will cancel. Yeah, this can be one of a counter. Be creative, because that's what buyers want. They want to make sure their cell phone can be pick up the signal. Back then, it doesn't have a enable Wi-Fi feature. Do you guys don't know what I'm talking about? Okay. That means you turn on your the smartphone, enable Wi-Fi calling. That means you can receive the phone. Even you have no cell phone service, but they can base on your home, the Wi-Fi system connected, go outside. So that's how, when I'm in a foreign country, when you guys call my cell phone, I can still pick up the phone. As long as I'm on the Wi-Fi, as long as I have the system. I still got an airplane mode, but I turn on my Wi-Fi. And you call my cell phone, I can still pick up the phone. Too bad, you don't know where am I. But I can still pick up the phone in the worldwide. Yeah, you can still find me. So basically, when we're on a vacation, not really on a vacation. Client, everybody can still find me. Your phone still ring. Yeah. Okay, D. The following attach addenda or incorporated in this multiple counter offer. See, if you attach any addendum or the form will just give it to you if a seller need to lease back or rent back or a contingency on purchase, you put a check mark right here and describe the form you're going to attach with the counter offer. So you actually notify the buyer, say seller need the replacement property, seller need to lease back for say 20 days, or seller need to lease back for maximum 2 months. You put it right here and give it the issue for the form. Because we have to make the square before open escrow. Because without the agreement, if you open escrow, it's going to be the risk. Seller, if you're the listing agent, you are losing the power, the controlling buyer, because you only open the escrow. They are in control. Just like, if seller did not email you the leaseback form, okay, or contingency on purchase, then later on you send it to the buyer. Oh, I don't care. I don't want to sign it. What do you do? What do you do? I'm seller, right? I'm in control. I'm running the show now for 17 days. The buyer's agent. Don't blame me. I'm bad. So you better finish all the negotiation, including the term and condition, before open escrow. Everybody on the same page with the agreement. Well, unless seller change your mind, adding this term and condition, listing agent doesn't know. So as a listing agent, before a seller agree anything, or before a seller sending out a counter offer, be smart. Ask them, do you need to rent back? How many days do you need to stay after close of escrow? Or you can move out on the escrow closing date. You ask them. Sometimes they never thought about it. Do you need to rent back? You got to let me know now. I have to issue the form. Otherwise, if you tell me later, hey, during the escrow, hey James, I want to lease back for 1 month. If the buyer's not agree, then seller, when cancel? No, yeah, all right. Hey, come on. You need an escrow. Seller cannot cancel buyer. But if you issue the form, everything agreement here, then buyer agree. Then that means buyer have to accept it. Sometimes what I'm saying, even you don't really have to issue the SIP, seller in possession, or residential lease after sale, because we have no agreement for how much yet. But at least what form you can issue? Addendum. The addendum, you can notify the buyer and tell the seller want to lease back maximum 2 months. That's what I did on this case. Seller lease back maximum 2 months. What I put in addendum. And verbally, what do you have agreement? And roughly I said it, how much? Okay, on the addendum. At least I make it simple first. I don't have to give all the form yet, because the residential after sale, that's a 6 page, just like regular lease agreement. You don't have to give everything that so complicated yet, but at least we are on the same page. Then we can talk about the detail. Are they going to require security deposit, or those are minor detail. But major, you gotta have the buyer have to agree. A seller need to agree. Seller can rent back. But on the other hand, why I don't put anything on the listing sometimes, or I will put on agent remark. Once I open escrow, I remove that wording or sentence, because some of the lender, they don't like the rent back, seller rent back. And I purposely hide it from lender. So I put an addendum. So we don't have to turn in to the escrow as long as the buyer seller agree. Then I don't have to turn into the escrow, because that is a binding agreement, isn't it? I tell you that. Once you have a signature, both parties' signature on the same form, that's a binding agreement. Initial doesn't count, all right? It has to be signature. So addendum is required what? Both party signature, right? So that's addendum. And do you have to turn into the escrow? Not really. Just like later on, I'm going to cover that request for repair. The escrow really care? No. Any credit? Well, we'll put out addendum. We're saying, tour on buyer's closing. We never say it's repairing because lender doesn't like that. So what the situation, if you have to be in the listing agent, be smart, not just put in the form. I have to cover because lender, they can access to our MLS, right? They can look at the agent remark. Oh, seller needs to rent back maximum 2 months. Dang it. You know. So I'll delete it, the wording. Sometimes if just the other, for your information, if you're selling any property with the unpermitted area and you took the photos or you mentioned that on the agent remark, once you open escrow, make sure you delete the wording and photos, the unpermitted area. Because the lender, they'll start processing the loan. They can go back to check on your MLS. What do you see? Oh, everything normal. When I'm marketing on the MLS, everything is there. But when I open escrow, I delete the wording from agent remark and the photos, unpermitted area. You have to be smart. An appraiser went going there. Oh, I don't have a key for garage. I'm so sorry. I'm a listing agent. Oh, I gotta ask the seller. I think seller probably lock it up for some reason. I don't know. Seller is 1 or 2 hours away. You want to come back, or you know what? Usually appraiser, they will say, okay, unable to access. Unable to access doesn't mean anything to the lender. Is it being modified? Well, it is though, because that property is being modified to a studio in the garage. It's unpermitted. If the lender no, that's why you gotta have to. Being a listing agent, you gotta be proactive to work with the buyer's lender, because you don't want buyers they screwed up on the loan. Then you cannot close the deal. What do you want me to do? They close it. Don't let appraisal get it. You got it. Start making all the reason. That's how to be an experienced listing agent. You work with the buyer's agent and buyer's loan agent. You got to be monitor everything on the top. Because if their loan screwed up, who's hurting more? Me at the end. Wasting all my time, start all over again, right? Well, you can say, I'm so sorry, I didn't know it's locked. I thought everything, I leave you the key so you get open access. But you know what? I did not leave them the key for the garage. I purposely hide it. It's still there. Yeah. Well, they say unable to access on the appraisal report. So the lender still go through. Okay, then lender is not assist, has to be seen in the garage. Then we push the deal through. Done. Because buyer buying that property, they love that unpermitted area so they can get the extra income from the rental. Yeah, because that particular, I had the property, they are not just modify the garage, they also modify the storage room behind the garage. So actually 2 studios. I have to hide those 2. And not only that, the garage have a separate electrical meter. Oh boy, I gotta hide everything. I'll tell you that. Yeah, if you expose to the appraiser, you better kiss your deal goodbye. It happened. Okay, so you gotta be smart. And I'm the second listing agent. Why does the first listing agent never sell that property? You probably know why. Yeah. It's not as sneaky like I do. I cannot say I'm everything honest or great, but I mean, sometimes I play with the gray area. This is not really covered in the form, okay? You just, for FYI, for your information only. That's it, okay? That's what I did. But is it against law? Well, I didn't really against it. I just play with it, when you got no access, you have no way to prove it. Yeah. Just like, you go to the court on the trial, if no evidence, you cannot, plead guilty, right? Same thing. And seller doesn't know anything. Seller sometimes doesn't know how hard we did. So being a listing agent, sometimes I will tell the seller what I did afterward. So they will feel they pay you is worth it. You talk about an Arcadia, you're still charging 6%, you better be worth it. you know that area, it's a mess. 4%, that's pretty much max. Okay, you see 1%, 1.5%, that's nice and normal. But you want to charge the seller 6%, you better be worth it. And I tell the buyer's agent, I pay you 3%, you better do a good job, all right? Two, binding effect. Seller is making multiple counter offer to other prospective buyer on terms that may or may not be in the same as in this multiple counter offer. This multiple counter offer does not bind seller or buyers unless all of the following occur in the time specified below. Seller signed in paragraph 5, right here, okay? Buyer signed in paragraph 7, that's acceptance. Seller signed in paragraph 8. They only tell you the sequence. And buyer receive the copy of a multiple counter offer with all the signature prior to the completion of all the foregoing. Buyer and seller should have no duty or obligation for the purchase or sale of this property. So that means all the signature, especially multiple counter offer, all the signature. You see that? Did you see any initial? Only on the bottom of paragraph 8. So basically what you see here, seller making a counter, they sign paragraph 5. 6, if the buyer accepted, you sign it right here. Then 7, seller have to be, I'm sorry, 5, seller sign, then buyer signing paragraph 7 within the box because this is a multiple counter. So this number 8, seller can only sign 1 copy because seller could be sending out 2 or 3 multiple counter. But on a paragraph 8, seller can only sign 1 copy. 1 copy only. Because this is acknowledgement, acceptance. So that means it is a signature. So we need multiple counter, seller signature, buyer signature, then seller signature. All 3 is there. Then consider done. Binding agreement. Missing any signature? Doesn't count. Did you ever see those counter offer per phone conversation? What kinds of signature is that? You know, some listing agent or even buyer's agent, they put out a signature part. Per phone conversation. Well, that's not signature. Okay? And if you're willing to sign that, good luck. You better take your own risk because they can change your mind anytime. That's not signature. It's a phone conversation. Because it doesn't matter buyer or seller, they can change. And if seller counter that using a seller multiple counter, well, if you really want to fight with the seller, fine. But because of that, you may delay the whole process because they may counter, you know, for the 2 different, you know, buyer, and some of them they just sign it back. If sometimes I may just let it go, you know, on the, but I will tell the buyer, say, seller is not actually signing it for some reason. Seller probably in a foreign country, and they cannot physically sign, or seller doesn't know how to use a DocuSign or fax or email, whatever. Or listing agents, either they're too lazy or they don't know any technology. They have to get a wet ink. Then what can we do? Tough. Yes, I mean, you can see the issue is when buyer signing the multiple counter offer on the paragraph 7, but on the number 5, they say per phone conversation. Is the seller have to come back to sign it again? Yeah, technically, you need to. Otherwise, escrow will not take this either. Very rarely you'll see this now. But, you know, even a few years back, some people still put it per phone conversation. That's not legal. That's not right. then if your buyer want to sign it, you can tell them the seller can still cancel you or whatever could happen because it's not really legally. They're just like, that's more like a seller, but listing agent sends you the blank multiple counter. Doesn't mean anything. You want to sign it as a buyer? Fine. Okay. Just tell you something. If seller or listing agent give you the multiple counter because of pricing or any other term and condition, your buyer say, okay, fine, we'll accept everything. But being a buyer's agent, if you really want to play smart, they say, yeah, we can surely accept the way that it is. Or should we counter the seller? Say, what do we counter seller for? Higher price. Did you ever thought about that? Because they may counter everybody on the same price. You want to be the winner or not? I don't know how many they counter, 2 or 3, right? If the other party sign it back and you're adding $1,000 more, what seller will choose? Higher price. It gives you the higher chance of being a winner. I could be paid $2,000, so I can beat the other $1,000. Or I even shorten. If what the seller they shorten, I can even push the buyer, even shorten the escrow date to being more favorable. Anything could happen. Or even what? Did you ever thought about it? Increase deposit? Be creative. Jump outside the frame. Okay? It can be creative. Or shorten the escrow date. Or maybe reduce the loan amount, increase the down payment. Anything to make your offer stronger than others. Buyer's market, well, that's a different story. Yeah. Buyer's market, you hardly see the seller multiple counter. All right? It's only a seller counter and seller begging you, please choose mine. Because believe me, as a buyers, we offer not just one house. We offer 2 or 3. And when all the counter coming back, seller say, okay, which one is more favorable to me? That's, what the buyer's market. You guys probably never seen that yet, but we saw that before, okay? I say, okay, what should we choose? We submit a 4 offer, 2 coming back in favor. I tell the buyer, you got to choose one. You open escrow. All right, that's a buyer's market. But so far, I can tell you, we won't see it. Who knows, at least another 3 years, according to Quang. And I believe, that it's true. It's because what I mentioned to you guys last year, and that usually you tell the buyer, you tell them, so why the price start still going up? It's because our population still going up. You tell those outsiders, don't come in. We just had 120,000 people move into LA and Orange County, actually Southern California, but most of them, 100,000 people, they're staying in this 2 counties. $100,000, say, not much. Yeah, not much. How many houses we have? Not much at all. Did you see our inventory? Our inventory, Hacienda High, Roland High, yeah, we still got about 60, 70 property for sale on the market. Did you ever check on those houses in Alhambra, San Gabriel, Temple City? 30 something, not even 40 properties. What happened? And half of them is overpricing. Then what do you got left? Only half. Only half. Then you look at Orange County, same thing. Well, except Irvine, they probably, because Irvine is really huge. They got plenty of a house and also got a new builder. They built a house. But how about other area, the good area, maybe like Cypress, Yorba Linda, even Garden Grove now. Whew. It's crazy. I know we probably focus here, but on my territory, I get a little bit larger territory. When I cover everything. I'm not against money, okay? As long as I can drive within an hour, that's my territory. But the good thing is I can be monitor all different areas, be able to share with you what's going on. And if somebody steal stay in the good old days, that's almost that's overpricing. No, that's a market price. You know that. If somebody argue with you, that's too expensive. That's okay. You don't belong here. I'm so sorry. That's how the richest, people. That's what they say, during the community. Oh, you didn't know it's this price? I'm so sorry. You don't belong this community. You're short on the money. Just like, people still want to buy the property in Alhambra, say $400,000. Good luck. Nothing. The cheapest one bedroom is $499,000. Well, $400,000. What do you get? Nothing. And then they say, well, I'm sorry. You probably have to choose something. I didn't really tell them and say, you don't belong here. It's not that bad. But I mean, I say, do you want to see El Monte or South El Monte? Or maybe Bowen Park? Alhambra, I'm so sorry. You just cannot stay here. Or do you want to just rent it and continue rent it? Because the rental market still recently doesn't really go up, on the pricing. But eventually, probably after what I'm seeing after April or May, probably higher. It's just, some of the people, they try to digest. Because I got quite a few rental property in my hand right now. Last month, didn't really have much showing. But this month, yeah, definitely more. You can feel that. Then when the rental market going up, so do the housing market and the pricing going up. And you can always tell, remember last time I shared with you, how much percent on the San Jose? 34%. Okay, then what are we crying here for? Yeah, then that's only 1 year, 2017. Then don't say that our price is high, then go to Northern California. Well, that's okay. And if you're still crying, then either go back to your own country or go out of state. You don't belong to California. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Even, when last time I shared with you, when the President Trump, they want to order another 70,000 missile. Oh. Did you notice that as more engineer, they're moving? Because from where I sense that bigger house rental. Over $3,000 rental. You see those are job relocation people from outer state. And we just, finding a new job here. I mean, if they can afford those rental, why those Caucasian, they are wondering, because they don't know the area. They want to rent it first before. And you know what? I got so many outer state people. And every time it's a job relocation. What is telling you? It's a job here. And they always rent it first. After a couple of years rental, what do they do? Buy. So if you could, I don't turn away those tenants either, especially those the high price, $3,000, $4,000 rental. It's a potential buyer. You know that if they can afford those rent payment, they can probably buy it next couple of years. You have to be creative to, maintain the lead, keep on coming in. Another thing is that it's not that bad, if you are doing the rental for $3,000, $4,000 property, you still get about $1,000. If I got a listing, I got double in, and I got more than $2,000, $2,500 commission. Why not? So that's why rental to me is more like a salary. Steady. Steady. Yeah. It can pay my gas money. Number 3, expiration of a seller multiple counter offer. This multiple counter offer shall be deemed, revoked, and deposit, if any, shall be returned to the buyer unless by 5 p.m. on the 3rd day after the date seller signing the paragraph 5. This is the same as a purchase agreement. 3 days, okay, after seller sign. If more than one seller, then the last date or by, okay. So if the 2 different seller, 2 different location, and more than one seller, based on the latest, okay, latest seller. Because if the one seller is signing today, the other seller is signing tomorrow, they're starting, okay, Saturday as the first day, for example. So it's not the first seller. It's based on the last seller they signed. They really get a detail on that. Or by whatever the time and date, you can specify into it. it is signed in paragraph 7 by buyer. If it's signed by the paragraph in the buyer. Small print, this right here is a copy of multiple counter offer signed by the buyer is personally received by the seller. And seller, this is what? The listing agent. You put your name on it. I'm the listing agent. Who is authorized to receive it? So this is the for the counter. And number 4, marketing to other buyer. Seller has a right to continue to offer the property for sale. Seller has a right to accept any other offer received prior to seller's selection of this multiple counter offer. So when you receive the multiple counter offer, you better act fast. You don't lock in the deal, it may slip through. If the higher offer coming in, it wipe out all the seller multiple counter. Can it happen? Yeah. Why? Been there, done that. I wipe out other buyer. Because I communicate with the seller. I'm the last one. And I try to dig out what's the best price, best counter, everything, you know, what they already been sent out. And I just send in the purchase agreement, wipe out everybody. Yeah. And unfortunately, I know it's like one time I did that and wipe out our coworker. Later on, they found out, James, it's you. I'm so sorry. I'm the last. I'm the latecomer and wipe out everybody. Yeah, it is though. They only been sent out a counter offer, and because their buyers think too long, and even when I submit the offer to the seller give those buyer a chance. They didn't really respond verbally. Tell those buyers agent, I received just an offer. That's what I found out later on. Well, I received the offer is $10,000 more than you guys. Do you want to add more money? Nobody said anything, right? Okay. The seller accepted. After that, and other buyers, they regret it. Too late. Seller should accept my offer. Because the other buyers, you know, I heard, you know, one of two of the buyers on the particular property that's in Roland High, it's a cash buyer. Mine is a financing. $10,000 more. I wipe out the cash buyer. Yeah. Well, unfortunately, it's a friendly competition. Don't cry. Because we're in the same territory. Yeah. So paragraph 5, seller signed it and dated. And number 6, acceptance of a seller multiple counter offer. By acceptance of this seller multiple counter offer shall be deemed revoked, and the deposit, if any, shall be returned to the buyers unless by 5 p.m. on the 4th day. So that means if the buyer signed it, seller need to respond 4th day. Basically, you only got 3 days. So it's 1 more day. That's it. So once the buyer, if the buyer signed it on the very last day, at the 3rd day, then seller better respond after the next day. So this is the 4th day after the date seller signed in paragraph 5. So that means seller total have 4 days to signing the paragraph number 8 to make it now signing with the binding agreement. To make a final decision and no more delay, because they try to prevent the seller keep on holding the multiple counter and delaying and try to wait for a better offer coming in. So that's actually protecting the buyer. Technically, they want seller to respond. Total 4 days from seller multiple counter to a buyer acceptance, then buyer. If nobody counter, well, unfortunately, it could happen. If seller issue 3 multiple counter and then the buyer sign it back, well, then I mean, buyer, seller, you're too greedy. Nobody agreed, all right? Or usually I will still encourage, if I'm the buyer's agent, I still encourage the buyers, my buyer, why don't you, if you're not agreeing to seller multiple counter, then we can still counter back. If try it, it won't hurt. What do we got to lose? Nothing. The worst we did not get it. If you don't agree, you still did not get it. If you counter, you still have a chance. Even 1%. Hey, 1% is 1%. Because who knows, if the other two counter, they never even bother to send the buyer's counter. Seller may consider your counter. Because seller said, uh-oh, I'm in big trouble. I thought I'm a winner. Hey, hey, well, I'm running a show. But I mean, unfortunately, nobody buy. Okay, nobody bite the deal. Then I better reconsider on my term and condition, or maybe pricing for what the buyer's willing to negotiating with me. Because if you continue negotiating, that's what we're looking for. If I'm the listing agent, I try not to play the hero in the beginning with, but sometimes if the seller pretty stubborn on the pricing, fine. I can tell the seller, say, you can try, but it can hurt. Maybe, all of them, nobody will, return. But as a buyer's agent, doesn't matter what price they counter us, I will still give it a shot. Yeah, I'm a fighter. I'm not a loser. Okay, I'm definitely a fighter. I fight every case to the end. Don't give up. So number 7, okay. Oh, here. Number 6, same thing. Continue. Here's a signed by the paragraph. Number 8. And to the copy of this seller multiple counter offer signed by the seller in paragraph number 8, personally received by the buyer and the buyer's agent, because I'm the dual agent. So it should be put my name on it too, or whoever is authorized to receive it. But usually when I'm a dual agent, I don't go with the counter offer. I just, talk with both parties. Everybody agree? Boom! I issue a purchase agreement. Buyer sign, seller sign. So I don't have to do the open house. Okay. Or I do the open house with the confidence. I already have backup offer. I'll show you some other property. You can still do the open house. Can you still do the open house after acceptance? Yeah, I did that quite often. They say, why not? I accepted on Friday, and I still do the open house on Saturday. I tell the buyer or seller, I have to do the open house because I already announced the world. And I have to keep my word. You know what the whole purpose you want to do the open house? You grab more buyer and seller. Who cares what you have, an existing deal? You put aside. You want to get more lead. That's the whole purpose. But you are telling the buyer, because buyer and seller say, what do you need the open house for? Oh, I'm so sorry. I already announced the world. I have to keep my promise. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, it's like, well, it's actually whose benefit? Me. That's what I want. Yeah. And you get proud and say, boy, I sell this townhouse or house or property within 3 days, 5 days, over asking. And what price? Oh, I cannot tell you now. Because I haven't closed yet. I cannot tell you. But I'm welcome to submit backup offer, or I'll show you other property, similar property around this neighborhood. Do you want me to do that? Yeah. Well, I know, but I mean, if it could be because even you wanted a dual agent, I try to cut through the chase. But sometimes if you're a dual agent, you may still need to do the multiple counter, because sometimes you counter some different agent, and sometimes you counter your own buyer. No. This one I don't even do it, because I'm just as a scenario here. Yeah. Because sometimes if you're the listing agent, sometimes if I counter my own buyer and also I counter to different agent, then I have to put it right here, because I'm the dual agent here and I also counter others. Be fair to everybody, because that's what seller wants. You are fighting for the seller best interest. Because sometimes, a lot of listing agents, they say, James, you got to thank me because your deal beat my own case. So that means they send out a multiple counter, but I'm still the winner. I beat the listing agent, his own buyer. Then seller choose what? The highest. Yeah. But I mean, Being a listing agent, don't try to hide anything from the seller because it will expose. Okay, don't try to double in if you have multiple offer. Be fair to everybody because comes around, goes around. Believe me. In this case, this is the only offer I got. So unfortunately, well, fortunately, both parties agree. Okay, unfortunately, I don't have any other lead. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Listing agent got 2 offers. One offer is prices far off, so no point to negotiate. The other is a little closer. Now, when the listing agent countered, he still do a multiple counter, but only to one party, but not the first one at that price.
If it's only 2 offer, okay, put it this way. If it's only 2 offer, I will still do the multiple counter. Try, what's the purpose? I push the one as more possible, right? To raise the price. The other one is a wasted. But that's why I always tell everything. It's like, we gotta have to compare. Then when you compare, you will compete. What the multiple offer? Because legally you can issue them a multiple counter. And to protect myself, definitely I will counter 2. But when you have 10 offers, I won't counter all 10. You just choose top 3. Still, I counter 3, right? But that's your situation. 2 only. I don't care how much they offer, even a lowball $1. I don't care. I still counter whatever the asking price or whatever price so what seller wants.
So you're saying to be legitimate, using the multiple counter, like you have to
Yeah,
counter both.
that's right.
You can't just do one.
No.
And still use the multiple.
You rather don't do the counter 1 and reject the other offer. Don't do that. Because if you only got a single counter, what's a message you're sending to the buyer's agent? Ha ha! You only have my offer. Then I don't have to pay more. Or I can still negotiate with you. That's a message you're sending to the buyer's agent. Okay?
So
No.
relay the question based on what you're saying.
Yeah.
What if you only have a one offer? Can you still
No, that's why what I tell you to begin with. If somebody even verbally tell you, I'm going to submit the offer, but physically you did not receive the offer, you cannot do that. You cannot do that.
Okay, another scenario.
Yeah.
What if, let's say I have a listing.
Yeah.
Been on the market 3 months.
Yes.
I received one offer
Mm-hmm.
when it first go on the market.
Mhm.
Last week I got one offer far off.
Mm-hmm.
The seller doesn't like it, didn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2 months down the road,
Mm-hmm.
I got another offer.
Uh-huh.
Can I use both?
No, the other one is already expired.
Oh, okay, so the legitimate
It has to be
way
active.
to use is it has to be within the expiry date.
Yeah.
Use multiple.
Yeah, technically. You don't want to get too far off. Within a week, I can probably, you know. But it's like a month or 2. Oh, no.
Okay.
Yeah, that's too far off.
I can't.
No, you cannot really fake that. It's because if somebody want to challenge you, show me the other offer. Oh, I'm in big trouble. Because the other offers are way far expired. Okay? Because that's why they put the expiration date here. If no responding, automatically expire. That means you cannot use a multiple counter after a month later or after 4. Technically, you cannot really using multiple counter offer after 4 days later for another one or something. For example, okay, but that's a really good question. If you do the single counter, you got 3 days, right? Buyer haven't signed it back, then suddenly you receive another offer. Physically receive another offer. What do? You change the multiple counter right away because you do receive the another offer. Then not only that, oh, that's another form we gotta show you. Withdraw counter. That's another form. Withdraw counter. I keep on opening more, I'm trouble, right? You're hardly using this form, but you should know it because that's the right way to do it. And you need to withdraw first. Now, when you withdrawal counter, it has to be signed by the seller. And when you email the withdrawal counter, change the multiple counter, both together, send it to the buyer's agent. Not only a previous buyer's agent, not the current one. The current one, it could be the offer. It doesn't have to be multiple counter yet. But because if that's the case, that means you can preparing for the multiple counter for the other one, or they may accept it. So, but you give the chance for the first buyer a chance. Because can you change your multiple counter to different term and condition? You could, because you withdraw the original counter. That means it doesn't count anymore. Because that's why when you receive the single party seller counter offer, better persuade your buyer. Sign it, sign it, sign it. Right away. Don't wait. If you wait, things could change. That's how that happened. That's why time is essential, is because the offer, withdraw offer. Why they say withdraw offer? Because it can be withdraw purchase agreement too. I never withdraw purchase agreement, but I mean, it can, this one can also use as withdraw purchase agreement. So that's why they withdraw offer, not just the counter offer. I'm going to do it now. Yeah, withdraw. Well, that's okay. I'll print it so I don't have to do it, you know, for a while. I know it takes some time. Okay, I'll do it. Yeah, let me go ahead, you know, print it out. You know, this. Well, should I print 13 copy? I'll print 14. And I'll print another set for you. I'll put another set, you know what, after I finish. Yeah. Okay. So that I will cover that. Because sometimes, you know, I print it out before I forget. So that means, but when you send out the withdrawal counter and replacing by the multiple counter, you better text the buyer's agent, you email them, you call them. Because why? Because that's evidence. I don't want them to, because if you just send an email to them, they would say, I never received it. And they saw it and they signed the original counter back, because you only change a higher price on the multiple counter. And they purposely signing the old counter one. And they say, wait a minute. I said, I never received it. When do you send it? Can I say that? Yeah. When do you say that? Oh, I call you. Oh, when? I text you. When? That's the argument. See, that's the issue. Because they can argue. Because the email is a one-way street. You don't know did they receive it or not. But you got to make sure before, you know what happened? Before you, I'll give it to you. No. Before you sending the counter and withdrawal counter, you got to have to be notified the buyer's agent right away. Make sure they receive text and what? They better confirm. Text message, okay? Text message and an email, and also the phone call. Because phone call, when you pick it up, it's not a missed call or something. Because you have the duration of the time when it's talking. Don't tell me you did not. You know, you purposely, you know, chatting about blah 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 for 1 minute. It's no way if a ringtone will ring 1 minute. So that's going to be the evidence. I will take that as a photo on the phone log. Okay, if I really want to fight, you talk to me in 1 minute. Don't tell me you did not. I told you, you know, did not or did not receive it, or text. Did you receive my text? I want you to confirm. So those are, you know, if I show if I go to mediation, arbitration, anything like that, if I show my text time, my email time, my phone call time, don't tell me you did. What's it supposed to? As a buyer's agent, purposely you deny, ignore my message and my email. I can fight with that. Not just the email alone. I just never been that situation, but I just prevent those situations may happen. Number 7, okay, surely we know that. If the buyers sign it over there and if you have a buyer's counter, you better mark it subject to attach counter offer on number 1. It could be number 1, definitely. 1. Then buyer sign it. If the seller accept the buyer's counter, so not only seller signing the buyer's counter, and seller need to acknowledge paragraph number 8 here. Selection accepted multiple counter offer by signing below. Seller accept this multiple counter offer. Note to the seller: do not sign in this box until after buyer signing paragraph 7. Did you receive the multiple counter? The seller already signed both. Yeah. I mean, I say, okay, it's mine. Yeah. Yeah, because the seller signed whatever the name, what they have above. They never read about the sequence. If the listing agent, you did not see that and send it to the buyer's agent, you just suicide. Because you sending all the multiple counter with 2 signatures. Listing agent, you have big trouble. Because you never explained to the seller. And seller never thought about it. Oh, I see my name, so I sign. Because they never read about the sequence, right? And you did not explain. Then you come out with, if you send out a 3 multiple counter, you're in big trouble. Yeah. You promise all 3 buyers you are selling this property to them. How do you want to explain to that? Okay? Somebody can after you in the big time. And seller can piss on you too. I say, boy, you just created trouble. You're not selling house. You are just created trouble for me. Because seller will not blame themselves. They never read about the sequence, because whose job is that? As agent's job, you need to explain the sequence. Never sign on number 8. Or you can only, or you know what? You can only sign 1 counter offer number 8. You cannot sign all. Then on the bottom, confirmation of acceptance. A copy of a signed seller selection was personally received by the buyer or buyer's authorized agent. So you can put the date, you as a buyer's agent, you can sign it too. A binding agreement is created when a copy of a signed seller selected in personal received by the buyer's or buyer's authorized agent, whether or not confirmed in this document. So without the initial, without the buyer's initial, this is a binding agreement? Yes. That's it. So you remember this. Anytime you got the signature, it's a binding agreement. Initial is only acknowledgement. Acceptance of acknowledgement. It's not binding agreement, because binding agreement is important, because when you binding, that means it's a done deal. So that's why they get bold print right here. Doesn't matter buyer or buyer's agent initial. This is a done deal. This is a done deal. Clear? Okay. We'll take a quick look on the buyer, the seller counter, because that's all similar. I just tell you what's a little bit different here. Then we can finish that. Because seller counter offer is going to be easier than seller multiple counter, because only got 2 signatures. Everything's still the same on the top. Bless you. Okay. Then I'll tell you something different. B. This is something I gotta have to. If the seller withdraw in any time prior to acceptance, that's what I just printed out to you. Withdraw offer. WOO. Withdraw of offer. C. If the seller accepts another offer prior to buyer's acceptance of this counter offer. So that means if Can seller accept another offer before this counter coming back? Absolutely. So that's why when you receive the seller single counter, you better have buyer sign it as soon as possible because you have what? Day and time. And I know some of buyer, they try to backdate it or back time, or the buyer's agent, they are too lazy or too slow to email it and lose a deal. Could happen. If the buyer already give it to you early this morning, you better send it to the listing agent right away. If you wait until afternoon, who knows? Thing will change because if they receive another offer in the morning, they send you the withdrawal. And you know what? Buyer say, I already signed the agreement before they even receiving the offer. What do you do? Whose fault is that? Buyer's agent. All your fault because you did not send to the listing agent right away. Because when you receive it, you have time, right? From buyers, you better look at it, take a minute, everything is fine. Hey, send it to the listing agent right away. Because if anything wrong with it, buyers still have a right to cancel, right? Then what do you be afraid of? Send it. Don't wait until afternoon. So that's why, you know, wherever the agent still doesn't have a smartphone, good luck. They still have a flip phone? Hey, I don't know how to use the email. Oh, boy. You better hire the assistant to do so. Okay? Yeah. So on the number 3, marketing to other buyers, same thing, you know, that's what same thing they mentioned. Without signing back, okay, the seller has a right to continue to offer the property for sale. Seller has a right to accept other offer received prior to acceptance of the counter offer, just like, you know, on the 2C, what they say so. Ordered by the buyer as specified 2A and 5. In such event, sellers is advised to withdraw this seller multiple counter offer before acceptance another offer. So that's why, as a listing agent, that's what we suggest. You don't want to try to create more trouble. I know you're receiving the offer, but don't accepting that offer until you are withdraw this counter, the prior counter. Make sure they receive it. That's why they say, make sure they have to accept another offer. You say, you got to withdraw. Make sure you withdraw this seller counter offer, and they make sure they confirm and receive it before you accept the other offer. You got to have to be fair, you know, to the buyer agent, because that usually is another buyer. If the other offer, the submitted offer to you is your own buyer, you got to be fair, because otherwise people will challenge you. You got to have to make sure. I'll send you the withdrawal counter, and also I send you the multiple counter. Would you want to continue? Be fair to both buyers. Don't accept it right away, because you'll be in trouble if somebody want to challenge you. Seller multiple counter, yes, but what I'm saying is but because since you already, you know, if they did not send it back, yeah, 3 days expired. If they sign it too late, too bad. Okay, so but the issue is, if for example I just send it out, and the same day I receive another offer, then I better withdraw this because they have 3 days. I don't want to wait 3 days. So you withdraw the buyer's counter, seller's counter to seller multiple counter. So you send in a withdrawal offer and also seller multiple counter. So I will go through that form, you know, what I just printed out to you. I just wanted you to do it right, because it could be a mess if you don't do it right. Okay, here it's not as simple as purchase agreement. Counter offer, everything is easy, but the sequence is going to be a mess up. If they mess up the sequence, you're in trouble. Yes.
If just want to make sure.
Yeah.
When we use the RPA of a new construction RPA, we can still use the same set of the counter offer, the repair request.
Yeah. Yeah, because the it's new construction. Only the thing different is it's a new construction. Other than that, everything's still the same. Yeah, because some of a small builder, they don't have their own form. They want to using the CAR form. Fine. Then when you start using a CAR form, then I mean we gotta have to follow the CAR rule. All the forms, zip form rule, everything. Yeah. Phi, if the seller accepted, or if the seller subject to the attached counter offer, if you do have a buyer's counter. And at the last, same thing. Confirmation acceptance. A copy of a signed acceptance was personally received by the seller and seller authorized agent as specified paragraph 2A, and you date it for what time. A binding agreement is created when a copy of a signed acceptance, when that means paragraph signed, binding agreement. It's personally revised by the seller or seller's authorized agent, whether or not confirmed in this document. Doesn't matter you confirm or not. It's done deal. Clear? Yes. No. That's why I keep on mentioning to you, once you sign the signature, not initial, the acceptance then only it's initial, right? Why the initial? Initial is only acknowledgement, doesn't mean anything. I can tell you that. When you sign a signature, that means you sign your life away. Yeah. Anytime you sign the signature, you sign your life away. Seller sign, and if the buyer sign it, done deal. Doesn't matter you receive an offer or not. So that's why when you receive this, and you better tell your buyer, sign it right away, because this is our only chance. If you wait, anything could happen. Because if they have other offer coming in, then this offer can be withdrawn. You're gonna have to be knowledgeable to tell your buyer, push, create an urgency. Even I know nobody really want to buy this house. Maybe next to the street or next to the railroad or next to the freeway. I know it's not that desirable, but once you offer it, do you want to open escrow or not? You want to make the money or not? Hammer the deal. And we always try to create the urgency. Technically, we put the pressure on the buyer, but that's indirectly. You just create an urgency. That's it. Yeah. Yeah, I know, but I mean, on the same thing, because put it this way, the standard of each level of the agent is different. So I mean, it can be. That's why you guys are here. I share the information with you, but somebody doesn't know, they could be messed up the whole thing. Yeah, easily on this, and I can just eat them alive. If you know the rule, I can eat them alive. Here's buyer's counter. You can mark it either seller counter offer, that's a single counter, or number 1, or seller multiple counter, number 1. I don't know any others, but I don't really want to counter anything purchase agreement. I mean, if you really want to add something, I can probably using the addendum. If I send a purchase and seller did not respond, can I say the buyer's counter? Yeah, legally. Then you put a purchase agreement. To me, if a buyer thought about something, then I would use an addendum instead of a buyer's counter. Because you sent me the purchase agreement and you also said the buyer's counter. That's kind of odd. Seller haven't even countered you yet. Okay. Then same thing here. Okay, the paragraph is the offer that required initial by all party by the not initial by all party and excluded for the final agreement unless specified reference, including the paragraph 1C of this or another counter offer or an addendum. And same thing B, this one, unless otherwise agreed in writing, down payment or loan amount will be adjusted in the same portion as in the original offer. Well, this part about same. And here the D, same thing. If you want to attach anything, you mark it here. Expiration, same thing, 3 days. Then B, if the buyer withdraw in writing anytime, you're using the withdrawal offer. Because buyer can also withdraw the purchase, withdraw their buyer's counter. You can use the same form. You just notify the seller, we're back out. Don't wasting time with us, okay? You don't have to counter us anymore. If buyer finds something better, or you know, they change your mind and you want to legally want to withdraw it, certainly you can leave it as expired, but or before they expire, Can you withdraw? yeah, you can still withdraw buyer's counter. But when you, another thing is that when you withdraw buyer's counter, that means can you accept it? Can you go back to accept it on the seller's counter? Because you withdraw your buyer's counter. Yeah, technically you could. Never thought about that, huh? Because if you withdraw the buyer's counter, that means this one is no longer exist. Then can you accept the previous seller counter? You could. But make sure, if before you accept it, you make sure you let the listing agent know, because sometimes, you know, listing agent know, huh? What are you talking about? You still want it? Yeah, why not? I don't want to counter the better price. My buyer just accept your original offer price. Okay, great. I mean, nothing wrong with the listing agent. They would not accept it if the sellers buy the counter and no other offer compete with you. Why not? They are glad to accept it. Because legally, but you have to, since you already sent out a buyer's counter, and you have to withdraw it legally. Unless you did not send it over to them, that's fine. But as a buyer's agent, if you send it to the seller, then if you want to accepting the previous term and condition or the pricing from the seller's counter, then you better withdraw your buyer's counter using WOO. Never tried it before, but legally, yeah, it can be done. And certainly, paragraph 3, offer, you sign it. 4, acceptance, you sign it. What? Done deal. Then, if this is a final, don't check anything because you don't have any subject to attach counter. This is final. All right. If this is final, then don't check the little box, you know, on the paragraph 4. Then everybody will know this is a final term, condition, and pricing. Then the buyer's agent or buyers, you know, they can initial on a confirmation acceptance. Okay, and I think I'll stop here, and I'll come back on next Tuesday, start with the WOO, the withdrawal of counter, and also request for repair and seller responding request for repair. So that's going to be the next Tuesday. Am I going too fast or okay? All right, good, good. Oh, okay, thank you.哎，请说。
这个就是 agreement 会是合同。